It's my humble opinion that in meditation, as in any other pursuit, progress is guaranteed so long as you have the right method and are persistent with it. Unfortunately, many people who come to me to learn meditation report not making progress with it, even people who've been meditating for a long time. So let's look at the most important points for progressing with your meditation practice. This is a Deep Psychology podcast. I'm Ross. We blend spirituality, psychology, and self help to help you shine a light on your inner workings. The insights I share have helped me deeply understand myself and transform my life. Listen to this podcast if you want to get real, powerful insights and avoid all the fluffy nonsense that abounds in self help circles. You'll know more about your psychology than 99% of people out there. You can find me on all the major podcasting platforms or head to deep-psychology.com, visited by thousands every month, for tons of free resources. So the first point is to get the right idea of progress. So the first reason you might not be progressing is that your idea of progress is flawed in the first place. Imagine that you wanted to learn how to drive a car, but your idea of what a good driver is and your instructor's idea of what a good driver is were both flawed and wrong. Well, chances are you're never going to drive properly because you've not got the right target. You don't know what you're actually aiming for. You're not aiming for the right thing. And to crudely summarize my own findings, being a meditation teacher, I'll say that new meditators believe that progress in meditation basically means on-demand bliss, mental calm and joy. And unfortunately, all the popular apps out there, I'm not going to name any names, but you know what I'm talking about if you're into meditation. All the popular apps do nothing but reinforce this flawed idea. And listen, if this is your idea of progress in meditation, having sort of on-demand bliss and joy, it's no wonder that you're not making any progress because, well, listen, sure, these qualities are pretty visible in long-term meditators, but it's perhaps not for the reason you think. And what's going to happen is if you hold this idea, you're going to be grasping for results all the time. You're going to be grasping to feel a certain way during your meditation. And this, in the way that I teach meditation, is just not the right. It's really, that's not what we're aiming for. Instead of seeking states, feeling a certain way, realizing certain things, seek skills. Trust in your skills, trust in your immersion in meditation, and eventually you will make huge progress. The thing is with meditation is not going to feel life-changing right away. Like, you're not going to have these permanent states as a beginner. It's just really not going to happen. Even for a few years, you might not notice a huge life-changing effect, but you're going to have glimpses of its power. What is progress then? Let me give you an idea, just if you're a beginner starting out, what a good first approximation is. And this comes from my own teaching, which is heavily influenced by mindfulness, Vipassana, Dzogchen, Mahamudra, sort of a lot of Buddhist practice. A good milestone is when you're able to sit with whatever comes up without needing to change it anyway, to have relatively stable attention on demand, and to have greater clarity into your mind, body, and senses. So that is your target. Your target is not to feel a certain way. And if this is your idea of progress, you're already going to struggle to make progress. It's best to change that. The second way to progress with meditation is to do real meditation. So this might seem quite crude, but it's really true. Most people think that meditation is about cooling off or winding down or feeling peaceful, almost like taking a shower or a bath or a jacuzzi. And this is a kind that you're going to find on all the apps out there. And again, I'm not going to name them, you know what I'm talking about. If this is the meditation you're doing and nothing else, you're selling yourself way short of what is possible. Listen, the common view of meditation is, every field has certain misconceptions or certain common ideas about what it means. And meditation is no different. The thing is that real meditation is really more like weightlifting than anything else. It's not about perfection. It's not about getting to a certain state during a given session. It's not about feeling good necessarily. It's really about just putting the effort in over months and years, lifting those weights. What I would say is, if you want to do what I would consider real meditation, is to start with mindfulness, which is really the main system I use with beginners, and it actually informs all of the work I do. But mindfulness is informed by what I would call real meditation. Mindfulness can be dumbed down big time, but if you look for, you know, reputed teachers who are certified, who have a lot of experience, you should be on the right track. Can real meditation be soothing and bring you peace? Yes, it can. Definitely. But it's in a much deeper way than what you'll find on these apps. It actually brings it through real transformation and a change in how you process everything that you're experiencing. But that's a topic for another day. I just want to say that on this note, I think this is the best time to say this, that reading about meditation isn't meditation. Like, some people come to my class and they tell me how many books they've read about meditation, and they ask me questions, and it's like they seem so intellectually interested in the subject, but they've never really done any meditation. It's kind of like reading about riding a bike or reading about driving a car. It might help a little bit, and it might get you an idea of where to go and what you should do, but there's no substitute here. You have to do the meditation. I would prioritize practice, over theory, 80-20 in terms of importance. Practice always comes first. So don't be the person who reads 100 books but never sustains a meditation habit. It's not going to help you. The third point is to bring it into daily life. So the long and short of it is that when you begin meditation, it's basically just another task that you do during the day, another thing on the to-do list, basically. And that, there's a reality to that. But what happens is the more you do it, the more that your entire day starts to become enveloped by meditation. And luckily I was encouraged from early on in my journey to bring it into daily life. Now, I've recorded several articles and episodes on this topic, but essentially the idea is that along with doing your daily practice in stillness, like sitting down, lying down, you want to do the same technique as you're going about your life, maybe during a simple task like walking or doing the dishes, or during a spare moment like waiting in a queue or waiting for the train. Just in a simple moment where you can feel that you can maintain the technique enough. And then slowly, as you do that with more and more tasks over time, it becomes something you can do really more or less wherever you are. And I'm still working on this myself, so there's more to come. But I see that it's something that you can do on demand, basically. And I can tell you that this is very life-changing. So one way to progress is to just start bringing it into daily life. It's not easy. There's a big learning curve. A lot of the students that I teach are scared by the idea, quite frankly, but then they realize after maybe a month or so that, hey, this is really the way to live life. The fourth point is to be consistent. Now, it's quite simple. I've noticed that the students who are most dedicated are the ones who reap the most benefit. There's no surprise there. And those that aren't so dedicated, what they often do is they sort of moan about the fact that meditation isn't doing anything for them. It's quite simple. If you don't practice, it's not really going to do anything for you. You have to put the hours in here. And yes, you're going to go through peaks and troughs of motivation. So don't expect to meditate every day for the next 10 years. You're probably going to have times where you don't want to do it. And there's times where you're going to give in to your resistance and not do it. And there'll be times where you're fed up with it and you don't know why you're meditating, especially early on in the journey. But overall, if you really want to see progress, you're going to have to do meditation consistently for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. And the science is pretty clear. The more you do it, the greater the rewards and the deeper it goes. So that is one simple thing, is to be consistent about it every day, no excuses. And the final tip is to be patient. I think impatience is an enormous obstacle in meditation, not only because it does take a while to get permanent change through meditation, but because impatience is basically antithetical to the entire endeavor of meditation. Impatience with the journey means you're not going to stick with it for long enough to reap the rewards. Impatience in the moment of meditating means that you're actually not willing to be with things as they are, which, as I said, is a huge milestone on the journey. And it's the exact opposite of what we're trying to do. We're trying to cultivate the ability to be with things as they are, to process them as they are. If that doesn't make sense, it will as you do meditation. Patience is something you need every single moment while you're meditating, because every time you're not patient, you're not really fully experiencing the moment. Of course, you can fully experience your impatience as part of the moment, but if you identify with your impatience, you're sort of going against the process of meditation. People come in thinking it's going to take a month or 2 months or whatever, 6 months to see their life transformed by this amazingly powerful thing. And listen, you're going to experience benefits in that time period. I've had students that have experienced quite surprising benefits, but really the real rewards come long term. So you have to think long term. You have to do the practice long term. And to a certain degree, you have to just surrender and trust in the process. It takes time for a reason. It takes time because it is genuinely powerful, and you're slowly undoing all of your mental habits with meditation. And it's not going to happen overnight, folks. You have to be very patient with this process. All right, make sure to check out my other videos on meditation, including my guided meditations. Head to the website for tons of free meditation resources. I've got 2 videos coming for the rest of the year, so make sure to subscribe to keep up to date. Hope you enjoyed this video, and take care. I'll see you soon.